Good morning. Welcome to Legacy Live from our new location, which is our second time in our new location. But today we have some really fun topics to talk about. And so I want to just jump right in. So before I jump right in, I guess I have to do the regular housekeeping stuff. If you have any questions, throw them in the comment section because we will see them, we will answer them. And I think personally, I think this is gonna be a big topic. And so I want to see what you guys think about it. So let's jump right in. This is my co-founder Janine,
Hello.
or I guess my founder Janine.
Oh yeah, I found him.
She found me, and I'm a co-founder because
I'll open in.
yeah. Yep, and that's how I got here. She actually lassoed me like a cowboy, just lassoed me and hog-tied me and pulled me over, and that's how I am now working with Legacy. And so
That's the story this week.
that's the story we're gonna tell this week.
How I got dragged in.
How I got dragged into Legacy.
Yeah.
So okay, let's jump in.
Okay.
Before we do, Janine, can you take yourself off mute? She's right behind me, so I want to make sure.
Okay.
Perfect. All right, we should be good to go now. Now you guys should be able to hear the both of us and see the both of us, and you can hear everything that she's going to say. All right, so let's jump right in.
That does make me a finder and a founder.
Yes, I agree with you, Joel. That does make her the finder and the founder. And I feel like if we go any further into this, we are going to go into some tongue twisters. Anyways, so Janine, let's have a conversation here.
Okay.
So we are a customer service team that helps other people. We do a lot of other stuff. We are in the process of many different types of things. But what I want to ask you questions about is you managed the customer service at a client for, was it 15 years or was it 17 years?
18.
Okay, it was 18 years.
18 years.
18 years
and 6 months.
Okay, that's a lot. 18 years and 6 months. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
How many agents did you have working under you at one time?
60.
You had 60 different agents.
60 employees under me, yes.
60 employees.
Agents and administrators.
Okay, perfect. And so now I know a little bit about this stuff, but how did you set it up? Because I know you did some outsourcing. You did some internal staff, some from an American call center, some from an Indian call center, and some from a Filipino call center.
Yes.
So how did you set that up?
Well, it wasn't an overnight thing. So we did when I first started, we had outsourced. They had outsourced their customer service, but to someone in the United States, actually in New Jersey. So we started out listening to their calls and okay, where would it make sense? Well, it makes sense to do it in-house at that time because they had no control over the calls. So they had as a business owner or as me at that time as a manager, I had no input on how they trained the employees. So we brought that out in-house. We started that. We actually started out with 2 employees, grew, relocated, and went up to, now these are already internal in Jersey, went up to probably about 8 agents. Administrator came on, an HR person came on. And then we started growing from there. It's like, okay, we need to say, how can we do this a more efficient way?
Okay.
Right?
And so you were asking, how can we do this in a more efficient way?
Mm-hmm.
And you guys did you go to India first or the Philippines? Philippines first. And what was part of that decision?
Yeah, we went to India first. And part of the decision is like, we needed somebody. That decision going to India first is actually because they're really good at computers, right? They're good at reports, and that's where we needed someone to do reporting for us and be able to take the calls at the same time. So we did start with India first with that, and then okay, so there's a lot of
Can let's pull it back just because so you started in India.
Mhm.
In India, how many agents did you hire in India first?
We probably started with 5, and then we increased it to about 14.
Okay, why did you start with so little, and why did you increase it to 14? Like, at what point did you increase it?
It's the ratio of calls that are coming in. So how long is somebody waiting on hold for?
Okay,
So that's how it's developed that way. Okay, so if someone's waiting for 30 seconds on the phone, that's normal. But when you're talking into like a minute, that minute doesn't sound like a lot, but you're that customer on the other end. That minute is hanging up and calling somebody else or calling the bank dispute, and there's a lot of facets that go into that area. So yeah,
okay. And so, what was the longest that you wanted your hold time to be?
no longer than 3 minutes.
No longer than 3 minutes.
Hmm.
Okay, perfect. And so you ramped up to 14 agents in
Yes.
India. Why did you branch out to the Philippines?
Uh, Weather-wise, so storms. There's different areas. Like it's Philippines have a wet season. India just has a season. Okay, so when your calls drop, and it's also for doing that is that we always had if one call center got dropped for weather issues or whatever, then okay, you need to have a backup. So
Okay.
who can handle that backup? So we decided we didn't want to put our eggs all into one basket. So, okay, we had India, we had the Philippines, and then we had our United States call center. Now, at the time we had grown, we had New Jersey, and then we put people out in Texas.
So you guys technically had 4 centers.
Yes,
You guys had one in Texas, one in New Jersey, one in India, and one in the Philippines.
correct.
Okay. And so when you were choosing call centers, you obviously didn't look at only one call center. You probably looked at a few different call centers.
Absolutely.
What was the deciding factor for the call centers that you chose?
It's chosen by how well you can understand somebody on the line. So
Okay.
it's voice. Or are you clear?
Okay.
Also has to do with the talents as well. So we like to balance people into the call center. So you might have a really great gift in what you talk really well with customers, and the other gift it might be you just speak so clearly. But we like to have a little bit of everything because then it just balances them out.
Okay. Okay. And so how many different Indian call centers did you actually go out and look at before choosing the one you did?
There's a lot. I can't even put a number on it. I can't. We go by. Okay. I'm a comparison person. Um, I always want to know. I always want to have more than one option.
Yeah.
So there's probably about 5 call centers that went into that, and then it is an elimination process.
Okay. So what were the things that got them eliminated?
Not being able to hold of somebody there. So you always have your person who's going to manage over, right?
Yeah.
If I can't get a hold of you, then how is my customers going to get a hold of you? Hold of your agents in the call center. So if you're not accessible to me, big no to me.
Okay. So the number one thing that we need to know is be accessible is what I'm hearing.
Yes.
Perfect. And what is another area thing that you would look at?
I actually turn around and you figure out because by asking questions like what is your employee turnaround?
Okay.
So if you have a high turnaround, then there's something to me infrastructural. There's a problem with your company right there that your employees are only staying for a couple months and leaving.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. Now bringing this back to us because we are now a customer service team that has centers all over the world of agents that we use.
Yes.
When we use those same principles and someone hires us on, now I know these answers, but I'm interviewing you, so I get to ask the questions.
Oh.
What's the ratio of and where do we look for our agents in order to get the best possible agents for our clients?
Well, we look for all over. We just don't look at one particular item. We don't just go to one person. Joel, he just does all the networking basically. So he'll go from company to company and seeing how accessible they are and checking on the voices. And we've used Upworks, where we actually have two really great agents off of Upworks right now.
Yeah.
And we went through a lot of calls. And before we even conducted the interviews, we just listened to what they sounded like on the phone. Are they clear? How is the connection? And can you clearly understand that person?
Yeah, I know that for me there was like a 5-step process for our hiring. Like the first thing I looked at is when I asked questions, did they answer my questions?
Mm-hmm.
And did they actually understand my question in a way to answer it? It's like, okay, we've all seen the video of from Miss Congeniality where the person's like, "What's your favorite date? Like, tell me your favorite type of date." And she's like, "April 29th." And it's just not the answer. She just didn't understand the question. And that's the first thing that we use to root out is we ask a question that no one would normally ask, and we use language that North Americans use.
Right.
Specifically language North Americans use. And depending on how they respond to that, that's the thing that gets them onto a call with me. And then I listen to them and I hear their voice. I look at their internet connection. I hear their voice. And I put them together and I put the whole package together and I say, okay, these are the top 5. And then Janine and I go and interview them and we start looking. So if they get past me, then they have to go and get past Janine. And that's one of the things that I love about our process is because Janine and I look for 2 very, very different things.
Yeah.
I can weed out all people on like an emotional level, on an intelligence level. I'm looking for some specific things, but then Janine will look at them and be like, "Why did you bring that person to me?" And so we've got this way of bringing agents in, and it's one of the things that really sets us apart is we are very careful in the agents we bring in. It might take us a little bit longer to set up an account, but we're very careful to bring in the right people.
Yeah, because they're not just agents to us. I mean, they're our employees.
Yeah.
We want to see them grow, and to know what their dreams are that's big for me. I want to know what your dream is.
Yeah.
Because that's where your compassion is going to come out.
Yeah, and we literally ask them. That's one of the things we ask them right up front in the interview process is, "What are your dreams?" And some people will give us the response, "My dream is for clients to be really happy with my calls." And I'm like,
"Well,
yeah, we're not
you out on
this one. This is this is a problem."
Yeah.
But I have no issue when some of my people were like, "My dream is to own a house."
Yeah.
Like that's like honestly, I used to when I was a kid, I was like, anyone could own a house. And now that I'm older and looking for a house, I'm like, yeah, my dream is to own a house.
Especially now, that's a big dream. Back in the day, dream big, you like have a house. Was like that was easy obtainable. Now, no, that's a big dream.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And so, but that's anyway. Let's bring it back to finding a call center and what it takes. What do you look for when you're looking for a call center? So you had the ones in India and moved over to the Philippines.
Yes.
And you had the call center in the Philippines. What brought you on board with that call center? What was it that really sold you on that call center?
It was the people. It really was the people, and their language actually you can understand more clearly than you can from someone from India. My experience, okay, but just the culture and the people. I just have a heart for Filipinos. Yeah, I don't know what it is. God just placed it in my heart, and it's like that. I knew this is the place that we need to be.
It's like me in Sri Lanka for some reason.
Yes.
For some reason, I just love Sri Lankans, and I've never been there. I've only known a couple of them, so it's not like I've got this extensive knowledge of Sri Lanka, but I love the country. And I don't know why. Yeah. But that's funny. And so how many different call centers did you talk to in the Philippines?
That one came through a connection of somebody that we knew. So that made it even easier because we had a connection. One of the owners was a friend of actually someone who outsourced and they used them before. So that was an easy find. So some things sometimes just drop onto your plate. That one did. That was definitely a gift.
Okay. Now later on, now let's fast forward about 10 or 15 years after hiring those two. You ended up losing one of them.
Okay, so when we had to do cutbacks, we had to downsize. So what needed to go? So we first downsized our call center in Texas. So our employee-owned Texas people went first. Yeah, not easy. Um, but we also they worked with another. So there was, for Texas, there was technically two. Our employees, but also who worked in the call center we outsourced. So our employees went first. It's business, cost effective. Just that one first. Um, we kept the supervisors there that we had so they can oversee the call center there. Eventually that went. Then the call center went. And then it was, who can we keep? The Philippines or the people from India?
Yeah.
And that was a tough decision because I was working with them for so long. They're not just business associates, they're friends. They're people with a heart. So that went by who was able to be understood better. And that went with the people and clients or team in the Philippines. They stayed. The people in India, yes, they were really great on reports. And if I needed a report, it was there every morning. I mean, they did all the reporting, like how we cough, their cough, everything. They did it for themselves.
Yeah.
Okay. And that was a hard thing to lose. However, yeah, it was this, who could be understood better for our clients, for the age of our clients, and it was our people from the Philippines.
Mm-hmm. And at what point did you get rid of the rest of your North American team in favor of the Filipino team?
Yeah. They actually went before.
Okay.
Yeah. The one, okay, so let me go back. The ones in Jersey, they kind of went to begin with because we relocated.
Okay.
And some of our employees will work from home. So the ones that worked in the office who did not want to move with us, they had to be let go.
Yeah.
And then the ones that worked from home, eventually there was a timeline for that they needed to go. So basically the ones that worked from home and then the one from Texas, they went at the same time.
Wow. That's hard when you've got to let go of so many people at once.
Yeah.
But now we are legacy and not that company.
Mm-hmm.
And with all of this wealth of experience, this is why we want to bring this to you, to the people here watching. We want to bring this service with all of this wealth of experience to you, because when we're bringing a team on board with you, we're not just doing American, we're not just doing Indian, we're not just doing Filipino, we're actually hiring what we call a fractional customer service team. And what that means is we are looking at your specific situation and we are saying, okay, this is what you're going to need for, this is your clientele, this is what you do, these are regulations, these are all the things, and we put it all together and say the best people for you is going to be an American because of A, B, and C, or the best person for you is going to be Filipino or Indian or Nigerian or whatever. And that's what's important, is making sure you're getting the right people for your company. And that's what we do. And that's why we are who we are.
Mm-hmm.
And so we take all of this experience and looking at all of the features, knowing that if you want reports, if you are heavy on reporting, we're going to go to India. If you're heavy on if you've got an older clientele, you're probably going to go American.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a clientele that's if you're not really big on reporting, but you want a little bit less of an accent, you're probably going to go to the Philippines. It really depends on what you're looking for, and then we go out and we search for it for you. And we use everything. We use our people in the Philippines, and our people in Sri Lanka, our people in India, our people in Nigeria. and our people here, and we use everything to get the best possible customer service team for you, or the best team, no matter what you're doing. I mean, we have a person who's talking to us about doing welcome calls right now, and that's exciting for me. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. And so it's not just customer service, but it's basically anything that you need a phone to do. We provide that, and we are excited to do that, and we use all of this experience that Janine and I have through the years and years that we've been working. And we bring that to you, and then we help you manage your team and coach your team and build them up to be the best that they can be. And that's what we do at Legacy.
Yes.
And so we just want to take this time and just kind of describe, because we had some people asking us, how do you choose a team? And so I wanted to bring this forward so that you knew next how to choose your team. All right. Did you have any last comments, Janine, before we end it?
No, I just thank you all for coming in and taking the time during your day to hear what we have to say, either now and in the future, because this is recorded. Well, it's live, but then it's going to be recorded.
All right. Well, have fun and enjoy building your legacy.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.